Cindy Wynn Boardman, founder of Wynn Business Spa Consulting and Preston Wynn Spa. I'm here today with Lisa Starr, senior consultant for Wynn Business. Between the two of us, we have 50 years of experience in the spa and beauty industries. We're going to talk today about Selvice, the 7 steps to abundant sales and stellar customer service. The secrets we're going to share with you today are literally the result of observations we've made working with tens of thousands of customers and hundreds of employees during the course of our careers. What we've discovered is that there's a basic set of about 7 behaviors that are shared by successful spa employees, the ones that retain the most clients and have the highest sales.
When we talk about sales success, we're not just talking about the people who sell the most. We're talking about the ability to create ongoing rapport with the client. The people who sell the most are not always fun to be around. And it doesn't matter if you sell a $500 package of products to your guest and then it gets returned the next day, or worse, the client never returns because they're afraid of you. You've been pushy. We're talking about the ability to create ongoing rapport and have a long established relationship with your client.
Exactly. If you're like a lot of spa and beauty professionals, you probably pride yourself on giving great customer service. But when it comes time to put on the sales hat, you may feel a little bit awkward. People who've mastered Selvice realize that the sales hat and the service hat are not 2 different hats at all, that they're exactly the same thing.
It's true. Selvice shows us that great customer service and great sales are 2 sides of the same coin. The simple secrets we're going to share will help you erase that imaginary barrier in your mind between chalking up record sales and creating great rapport with your customers. You can do them both, and we're going to show you how.
So some of what we're going to share with you today are what I call magic beans. And these are special words and phrases that are going to excite your client's imagination, inspire them to take action while creating a closer connection with you, their service provider. Our goal is to send you back to your spa or salon tomorrow with new tools for creating fantastic results and higher sales. Even if you implement only one of the ideas we share with you, you're going to notice a big difference.
The beauty of Selvice is that it shows you how your work can be more rewarding and fun at the same time. We've had incredible results in the spas and salons where we've conducted this training. Today we're going to take you up into treatment rooms, visiting the front desk, and onto the phones to see spa professionals demonstrating exactly how the secrets of Selvice work.
So to help you get the most out of these demonstrations, we're actually going to present you with a before Selvice and an after Selvice example. These are going to be familiar scenarios for you, from dealing with an intimidating type A client to attempting to reschedule a reluctant new guest. But first, we're going to do a quick rundown of the 7 steps of Selvice. So let's start with step 1. The first Selvice step is open the door with rapport. And this speaks to the fact that we have to create a close personal connection with our clients in order to be able to influence them and to create that long-term relationship that we're shooting for. The second step is find out where it hurts. Why is the client parting with discretionary income and discretionary time? There's a good reason that he or she is in the spa today, and you need to find out what that is. The third step is be the expert you are. You're a specialist in what you do. You've received special training, you probably have some sort of special certification or licensing, but more than that, you have a passion for what you're doing. Do your clients really understand the expert that you are? So this step is very important in credentializing you and making you a more powerful and persuasive influence in the relationship. The fourth step is create compelling solutions. And that's about taking these first 3 steps, understanding why the client's here, building on the relationship you're creating with them, and offering them solutions for their where does it hurt issue that you've discovered in step number 2. The 5th step is extend the invitation. And this is one of the hardest steps for spa professionals to do, because in the world of sales training, this is often referred to as the close. This is the scary part for people. And we're going to help you understand how to do this gracefully, effectively, and confidently. Step 6 is keep the flame alive. And this is remembering your clients in their absence. This is a very important thing because most customers just sort of assume that out of sight is out of mind. Step 7 is make it fresh daily, which means even if you've seen this client 100 times, you're creating a totally fresh, totally new experience for them every time they come into the spa. You're giving them reason to see you over and over again because they're never quite sure what they're going to experience next. There's going to be new discoveries, there's going to be new education, there's going to be new products, new services. This is what keeps the relationship exciting and compelling for the client. So it's time to open the door with rapport. 93% of your ability to influence another person is based purely on nonverbal qualities. Voice tonality, your body language, not necessarily what you're saying, but how you're saying it. 93% of your ability to influence someone has nothing to do with what you're saying, the content of what you're saying. So it's really important that you're able to master these nonverbal messages and cues. And the good news is that most spa professionals are naturals at this. They instinctively know how to create rapport. So we're going to give you some additional ideas and some concepts in this first step that will help you to actually consciously recognize what you are doing when you create rapport with other people. When we talk to massage therapists and estheticians and nail technicians, they usually say, I feel I'm really strong at creating rapport with other people. So this is what you're doing unconsciously when you create rapport. You're recognizing other people's social styles. And the first is what we call an analytical personality style. People are either going to be relationship driven or they're going to be results driven. And analytical people are very much about results. They like facts and figures, they like data, they're pretty rational, what we would consider to be left brain people.
Another style that we see a lot is the driver, and many of us know drivers. Drivers are people who are really focused on results at the expense of relationships. They're not interested in making friends. They want the answer and they want it now. This is the person who's very focused on results as opposed to relationships. They really want to know the answer to what, why, when, where, and how. They don't care about having friends or influencing people. They're results driven. They're the people who run companies and they need to make those kinds of decisions. But you've often had a client like this in front of you who doesn't want to hear your little detailed talk. They just want to know how much is it. You need to be able to recognize the driver and respond to them by giving them the facts that they're looking for.
And we certainly have a lot of driver style personalities in the spa. They're the stressed out type A people. And they're going to be the ones that you're probably most intimidated by when you see them. Because as you'll find out in a few minutes, these folks are the exact polar opposite of your personality style. And when you've got contrasting social styles, that's where it can get a little bit intimidating. So another social style that's actually very relationship driven is the expressive social style. An expressive social style is someone like me who likes to talk with their hands, gesticulates, you hear them in the spa, they laugh, they carry on. They're your noisy clients, for example. They're the ones you want to put your hand over their mouth in the treatment room sometimes. They love to talk, they love to share. They're a lot of fun. So expressives are pretty easy to spot. You just sort of listen for the sound. The next personality style is going to be the amiables.
And amiables are something we see quite a lot of too in the spa. In fact, many of you spa professionals would be considered amiables. Amiables are very relationship driven and it's more important to them than results. They would rather be friends and make friends and not offend anyone. The issue you need to be careful with amiables is that they will not stick up for themselves sometimes. So this is a client who will say yes to a sale even though they have an objection but they won't voice it. You need to walk carefully here and make sure that their feelings are considered when you're making your sales pitch.
Amiables are also very interested in that personal connection with their service provider. And these are the clients that often try to draw you into personal conversations about your life as well. They really need to have a personal bond with their service provider. So let's just recap that real quickly. The results-driven personality styles are analyticals. These are engineers. These are people that like to work with facts and figures and want to hear facts and figures from you. If you tell an analytical personality style, for example, that a product just feels great and it's wonderful and they'll love it. They're not going to be able to relate to that. But if you tick off a list of active ingredients for them and explain why they're so great, they're going to be very interested in that. So the driver social style. This is also a results-driven person. We got lots of them in the spa, so we definitely need to know how to relate to them, because this type A customer is probably coming in once a week, once a month. They are going to be your A-list clients as well as big type A's. So we definitely need to be prepared to work with them and understand them. And then our relationship-driven folks, they're the fun ones. They're the ones that you're probably going to relate to most easily. The expressive personality styles, the amiable personality styles, where they're going to really want to have a personal connection with you. Your expressives are going to want to have fun. That's a big, important value for them. The amiables are going to want to really feel cared for and nurtured. That's going to be a very important value for them. So what we're going to talk about next is the importance of flexing your social style to meet your client's social style. This is something that in neurolinguistic programming is called mirroring and matching. You may have heard this term before. And Lisa, why don't you describe what someone does when they mirror and match somebody?
So in order to start that relationship building, you're thinking about how to create rapport with the guest by mirroring and matching their social style. Well, how do you know what their social style is? You have to observe. So this first step to creating rapport starts with understanding your social style. Your social style is something you might not be aware of until after you hear us talk and you can recognize yourself. It's important that you know what you are so that you know when to tone it down and mirror and match the client. Observe yourself in action, get your friends to tell you what they think your style is, and then you can be conscious of how to sort of put on your acting clothes for the client. When you're encountering the client, you observe them and you let them speak to you and tell you who they are. You'll learn by listening and watching their body language what style they have. For instance, when the client stands like this and leans back, then you're not going to be gesticulating. You're going to be mirroring their behavior. If they are in your face and excited, then you're going to respond with a like kind of excitement, because this is how they think, oh, that person's like me. I can relate. So this is your first building block to creating that rapport.
We like people that are like us. It's an instant shortcut. And if you took a room full of people and you sorted us out into our social styles, and you put all the expressives in one corner and all the analyticals and all the drivers and all the amiables, all those individuals would suddenly have a group of new friends. They're instantly going to recognize themselves in other people. And this is a very strong way to create a fast, express way into a relationship with a client. And we've all had this experience when we meet someone that's similar to us. In the employment side of the business, when I interview somebody who has my social style, I have to be careful that I don't just end up having this wonderful, fun conversation with them instead of a job interview, because we're both expressives.
You just want to be conscious of the fact that people will gravitate to others like them. And so if you are like them, everyone can gravitate to you. You need to learn how to be an amiable, which you may be by nature, and also to mirror expressive, analytical, and driver styles, so that any customer that you encounter feels comfortable talking to you because they think you're like them. And that opens the door to better listening. Now they start to hear what you say, and you begin your sales process.
It's also begins to lay the groundwork for the credibility step that we have later, be the expert you are. Without rapport, you never get to that step. That's why we call it open the door with rapport, because it begins the entire relationship. So first we're going to see an example of not quite opening the door with rapport. We're going to have a type A driver client coming in for her appointment. Let's take a look at that.
Hi, I'm here for my appointment. I'm running late.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome to Preston Wind Spa.
Thank you. Yeah, I have an appointment. Right now I'm actually running a little late.
Oh, okay. And your name was?
My name's Melissa. I have an appointment right now, so if I can get in, I want to make sure I get my full hour.
Okay, just relax. It's no big deal.
It is a big
okay.
deal. I
It's
want to make
okay.
sure I get my full hour treatment. I only do this once a year. It's a big deal for me, so it is a big deal.
Okay, just take a deep breath and relax.
Well,
Welcome
you're
to the
not really
spa.
helping me
Welcome
relax.
to the spa.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was eye-opening, but it probably looked pretty familiar to some of you. So let's take a look at how we can open the door wide.
Good morning.
Hi, I'm late for my appointment.
May I have your name, please?
My name's Melissa.
Melissa, wonderful. We have you scheduled with Rochelle for your facial treatment today. So I'll go ahead and escort you back to our lounge, and we'll have Rochelle complete your new guest profile for you so that we can maximize your time in the treatment room today. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Interesting. So now it's time for step 2. Find out where it hurts. This is where we talk to the client about exactly what brought them in today. It isn't the surface issue, it's the deeper issue. They're both there and you need to discover both of them. The client comes in for an appointment. What is their expectation about what will happen and what drew them here today, as we say, with their discretionary dollar? One of the first great steps for this is to have them fill out a new client profile, and if you're not doing this, this might be a good way to start. It forces the client to think very abstractly about what did bring me here today. What is the issue I'm having with my skin, hair, body, whatever. They write it down, and it gives your technician a tool to begin with, having their discussion with the client. Of course, they'll have a verbal discussion as well, but this written document accompanies the client through their visit in the spa, and it's the starting point for the conversation between the technician and the customer.
It's true, and the new client profile is also a great way to highlight any issues that the client might have, to find out a little bit in advance about perhaps an allergy, a sensitivity. We don't want to find out where it hurts the wrong way. So the client profile helps to lay the groundwork for a good conversation in the treatment room. It really starts that whole consultation process.
So the technician takes the client into the treatment room. They have their client profile in hand. They're looking at the client physically, and they can compare the two and begin their consult that way. Oh, Mrs. Smith, I see you've said that you have some soreness in your neck or you're having a recurring problem with your skin. Are there ways you've tried to address this? Start offering suggestions, and then you can review the service that's been booked for the day. Perhaps what they've booked isn't really the best solution, but the client didn't know what else to ask for. So this is the time for an upsell. It's time for the technician to say, oh, I can definitely address that with this additional service or treatment or product that I can use for you right now. This gives the essence of customizing the treatment exactly for that client and giving them the results they're looking for.
Clients don't always know what to ask for. When they call the spa and they schedule an appointment, they may just default to the thing that sounds the most familiar. And very often it's not the perfect treatment for their needs. The problem is that we just sort of assume that, well, the reason she scheduled this appointment is that's what she really needs, that's what she really wants. We don't realize that she may have just chosen that so she didn't have to admit her ignorance. Just like people often call the spa and ask their first question, how much are your facial treatments? They're not really asking about price, they just don't know what else to ask. So we want to make sure that this consultation process enables us to what we call fit the client with the proper treatment for their needs. For example, somebody who's got deep muscular tension and stress is going to have your 60-minute Swedish massage because she didn't know what else to ask for. And she leaves and the knots are still there and she thinks, oh, that wasn't a very good massage. If we'd scheduled her with a 90-minute deep tissue session, we might have been able to meet her needs better and have her leave thinking, wow, this is the greatest spa in the world, rather than thinking, well, that didn't really work. I don't know if I'm going to come back here.
Of course, ideally, you want this to happen at the time of booking. And if we really train our customer service staff well, they'll be asking the right questions to get that customer into that service, but it's not always possible. Your technicians need to also be trained to pick up on that. So when the client arrives and we have the consultation process, then we have a second chance to upsell or get that client into the correct service for that problem. It also is a factor of how your written menu is set up. The client will often choose the first service on the menu, the very first facial. They don't understand all of the jargon that we use and they don't know what they're looking for, so they just choose the first one. And that's why we see a lot of that first service being done in the sales reports and not the other more esoteric or advanced facials, because we haven't directed that sale.
So the first step in this whole process that we're going to see is the presentation of a new guest profile by the spa concierge to a new guest who's just arrived at the front desk.
Because you're new, we'll have you fill out some paperwork, okay? This is our intake form.
Okay.
So you can see why that might not have been too inspiring for our client. So let's replay that scene again, Selvice style.
I'll go ahead and escort you back to our lounge, and then we'll have you take a moment to complete our new guest profile, and this is going to help Rochelle customize your facial treatment today to your specific needs and preferences.
Okay, great. Thank
Okay.
you.
So now you can see why the customer will want to fill out the new client profile, because they can provide the details we need to get their service customized exactly right.
Clients don't want to feel like they're just receiving a canned treatment. They really want to know that you're customizing it and tailoring it to their needs. That's part of the find out where it hurts step of Selvice. And that brings us to step number 3, which is be the expert you are. Be the expert you are speaks to the fact that your client has already kind of put you up on a pedestal. And what I find with a lot of spa professionals is they can't wait to jump off. We want to make sure that you own your expertise. And your social style is not going to be the social style, usually, that's comfortable with tooting your own horn, self-promotion, that sort of thing. Be the expert you are basically says you already have the respect and the trust of this client. Step into that role and really own that. Understand that they already look up to you. They're already waiting for you to offer solutions. They're already eager to hear what you have to say, to have a fantastic treatment with you. You're almost all the way there, but you have to be in that mindset of expertise as well. One of the best ways to do this is with an elevator speech.
Think about how you were conferred that status by the client to begin with. Why are you the expert when they've never met you? You went to beauty school or some other trade school where you learned a trade, you took a test, you got a certificate. You're the knowledgeable expert, and you're wearing the uniform and the name tag that says so. So when you walk into that treatment room, you need to keep that in the front of your brain. You are the expert, and they are looking to you for that guidance.
It's sometimes a little bit hard to view yourself that way, and we understand that. So the elevator speech is actually a little exercise that you can do, and we suggest having maybe a couple buddies help you with that, which is in the space of time, usually about 30 seconds or less, that it would take to ride the elevator with somebody, figure out how to express your professional essence. A lot of people say, well, gosh, I'm a new therapist. What do I have to say? I haven't been in the treatment room for 10 years. How am I the expert? But one of the things that clients are looking for is that you're into your work, that you're excited about your work, that you're passionate about your work. And a lot of impassioned newcomers can make a better impression on a client than a jaded veteran. Maybe you have been in the treatment room for 10 years and you're bored out of your mind. That can come across to clients too. So what the client's looking for is evidence that you're engaged with your work, you're serious about your work, and you love what you do. So it can be a story about a change of careers. We have lots of people in our spa who used to work in the corporate world. They became disenchanted with that. They were looking for meaningful work, and they became spa therapists. That story alone is fascinating to customers because all people want to have meaningful work, and it excites customers when they can be with someone who is actually enjoying and experiencing meaningful work.
As Peggy said, why did you come into the industry? There was something that made you feel passionate or excited about skincare, massage, or body care, nails, hair, whatever your specialty is. You need to nurture that and continue that. You don't want to work in a void of a treatment room where you never read another trade magazine, read a beauty blog, understand what's being discussed on the street. You do need to be the arbiter of information for your clients. You need to read the trade magazines, of course, but you also need to read consumer magazines because that's what your client is reading. When your client comes in to tell you about something they saw in Allure and you didn't see it, you don't sound like an expert anymore. So keep that passionate fire going by keeping up on the trends through the internet and your reading and your friends and trade shows so that when you do walk into the treatment room for the first time, whether you've been a technician for a year or 10 years, you have that confident glow about you.
And if you're fortunate enough to be a veteran who's had wonderful classes under their belt, years of experience, By all means, you want to share that with your client. That's a wonderful thing. But you don't have to have years and years of experience and lots of advanced certifications to be an expert in your client's eyes and in reality as well. You have had advanced training, certification. You've also gone through a selection process to work at the spa or salon that you work in. You've been validated by your employer too. Those clients have come to that business because they respect and are interested in that business. So take advantage of this moment of exceptional leverage that you have by being the expert you are and owning your expertise.
The elevator speech is your chance as a technician to introduce yourself and your passion to your client. You want the response to your elevator speech to be, wow, how do you do that? You want to build that excitement in the client. Now we're going to see an example of a technician who doesn't quite have their elevator speech prepared.
Oh, that's cool. So how long have you been doing massage?
Oh, I've been massaging about 3 years.
You like it?
Yeah, it's okay. But I'm thinking about going back to school. I'm really thinking about being an underwater welder. Me and my boyfriend just split up.
How that hurts.
Oh, just let me know how the pressure is. Me and my boyfriend just split up, and I don't know, it's not going so well, and I think I want to move to Miami and be an underwater welder and just start my life over again.
I think I might want to have gotten out of that elevator. Let's see it done Selvice style.
Nandita, how's this pressure for you?
That's great. So how long have you been doing this?
I've been massaging for about 8 years now.
Wow.
I used to have an office job, and it just wasn't gratifying enough for me, so I got into massage. And actually, I've been massaging since I was a young girl. I've loved it so much. And my massage training has taken me to Hawaii to do a Lomi Lomi training, which is my favorite.
Yeah. I've heard about that.
Have you? I'd love to schedule a Lomi Lomi massage with you the next time I see you.
Okay.
Great. So now we've gone through our first 3 steps. We've opened the door with rapport. We've found out where it hurts. We are also now talking about being the expert you are. 3 very important steps in our process. What I'd like to do now is recap those steps, showing you a different demonstration with an esthetician and her client.
Let's see what kind of first impression Rochelle creates with her facial client.
Let's see if she manages to open the door with rapport.
Michelle, come on back.
So fortunately for Rochelle, she gets a second chance to make a first impression in this video. We're going to watch her Selvice her first impression now.
Hello, you must be Michelle.
I am.
Hi, Michelle. Here, let me take that for you. I'm Rochelle.
Hi, Rochelle.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'll be doing your facial today. All set?
Yes.
I'll take that for you if you like. Okay. Follow me back. I think you'll enjoy this very much.
Oh, good. It's been over a year, if I can confess.
So it's time. I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
I want to look, 20 again.
Much better the second time. Now let's find out where it really hurts.
So, Michelle, I'd like to ask you some questions before we get started to really optimize your facial experience today. Okay. You mentioned that your reunion is coming up. Is it 2 weeks? Am
2
I
weeks,
right?
yes,
Oh,
yes.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume that's part of why you're here today. But tell me, what brings you in today?
Well, absolutely the 2-week deadline. Thank you for remembering. As I got ready for that and know it's coming, as I look in the mirror, I'm just seeing that there's this real dullness in my skin. And I would love to just, I don't know if radiance is the right word, but more, shiny, more bright and shiny. I just feel there's a dullness, and I've got some age spots from my time on the beach, the baby oil days, and just some lines, the basics. I'm not one of those, I can't get old people, but I'd like to do it radiantly on me.
Absolutely. I think we can address all those for you today. So let me just make sure I've got this straight. Really, the things that you would like to see as far as a change in your skin, especially to prepare you for this. But I'm sure you want this ongoing.
Yes.
Dullness we want to address. So we're going to work with giving you a glow. You're noticing some age spots and some fine lines as
Yes.
well. Okay. Well, we can definitely address those for you today.
Good.
And I would like, if I could ask you to tell me a little bit about your home care. What do you do at home to take care of your skin?
The truth.
Yes?
Okay, well, I don't always take off my makeup, and I know that's probably a cardinal sin, but you're writing it down, but that's okay. I know. That's okay. I don't. I have to tell you the truth. And I'm trying to get better, so I went and got one of those huge, bulk store wipes. Takes off everything, and you toss it by the bedside table. And then if it's happened to be on the bedside table, I'll put a little extra moisturizer on my lines, and that is about it.
Okay. And please don't worry about me writing notes. It's only to remind myself so that I can make
Okay.
notes in your chart in the computer, so that when I see you next time, I'll be able to be familiar with what your goals are, so that we can really keep on track for you.
You can
Does that
ask me
sound
about
good?
the wipes. Hopefully I will have, grown up a little.
No worries, no worries. I
Okay.
understand, you're busy, but I think that we can really work, as I work with your skin today, I'll be looking to see what can you do at home that will be simple, doesn't have to take a lot of
Thank you.
time, but really focus on the things that you're trying to achieve. Does that sound good?
Good. Yes.
Shall we do that?
Yes.
And I'll also look to see what treatments ongoing in the future would be best to also help with the things that are harder to address at home, so that we
Okay.
can work together to make your
Super.
skin the best
I'd
it can
love
be.
that.
Beyond the reunion, life goes on. I mean, the reunion is great.
You're right.
Life goes
Yeah,
on,
it just
right?
kind of triggered this, so
Yes.
I'm glad I'm here.
Absolutely.
Really am.
Yes, and your skin is one of the only things that is with you your whole life, so we'll work on this.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Deal.
Excellent. So before I get started, and I should tell you this too, no matter what facial we do, I'll analyze your skin to determine
Okay.
what's really the best treatment for today. And I will, no matter what facial we do, we have many steps that will be involved. So just to give you an idea of this, a thorough cleansing, we'll do an exfoliation, we'll do extractions. Are you familiar with extractions?
A little bit.
Deep pore cleansing.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
you comfortable with having some extractions? I'll be
As long as I don't have to see it.
I promise you.
Okay.
The good results at the end you will see.
Oh, good,
Okay.
good.
We'll do a mask. We'll do massage as well.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. So I'll try to really give you both the clinical results you're looking for, the actual changes in your skin that you'd like to see, the glow, clean
Good.
skin. We'll work with pigmentation. Takes some time. Those are the spots.
Yeah.
And fine lines as well. We'll
Okay.
address all those, but we'll also give you some massage so that you can relax and feel
Thank you.
refreshed and ready for your reunion.
Good.
Sound good?
I'm ready.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to let you get changed, and I'll
Okay.
knock before I come back.
Good.
Okay?
Thanks, Rochelle.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Good.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Well, it looks like Rochelle's got things under control in the aesthetics room. Let's pay a visit to the massage room and see how Elena is doing with her new client. I'm not sure her pre-treatment consultation is going quite as well.
Okay, Nancy, this is the room that we're going to be massaging in today.
My name is Nandita.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you have any recent surgeries or illnesses I need to be aware of?
Not really surgeries, but I do have a lot of tension in my neck and shoulders.
Okay, great. Okay, Nancy, I'll have you lay face down first, and I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, where would I put my robe?
Oh, you can just throw it anywhere.
Ooh, that hurts. Let's go back and see her do it again.
Nandita, this is the room that we're going to be massaging in today.
Right.
And we're going to be doing a 60-minute classic massage.
Okay.
It's normally a light to medium pressure. Do you have any recent surgeries or illnesses that I should be aware of?
Well, no, not really. I just I do have a lot of tension in my neck and shoulders.
Okay.
And
Okay. So what I'd like to do for you then is I'm going to be using a product called Relief Gel. It's got a lot of menthol, arnica, and some seaweed in it that's going to help soothe and relax it. And I'm going to add a nice hot pack onto that, so then I can really work into the muscles and help relax you
Sounds
a little
great.
more. So what I'm going to have you do is just lay face down first on the table.
Okay.
And you're going to undress to your own level of comfort. And you're welcome to hang your robe behind the door here. And there's a little jewelry dish over there if you have any extra jewelry.
Great.
Okay, I'll see you in a bit. I'll knock before I come in.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Andita.
So that felt a lot better. So now it's time for her to go into that wonderful elevator speech we saw earlier. And the step after that, number 4, create compelling solutions.
Creating compelling solutions is the obvious next step. You've taken time to learn about the client, establish your rapport, and be the expert you are. Now we take the information we've gotten from spending time with the client and create a solution with value for them. What is a solution with value? It's something that addresses the deeper needs of the client, not just that you performed a facial, but you listened and you had discourse during the treatment. Now, there are right and wrong ways to do this, but we're going to show you some examples. It is not possible for you to get to the gist of their need by remaining silent during the service. You've got to use your cues to talk, start a conversation. You don't talk the whole time, little snippets, but get some information, impart some education, and then you can be quiet and go on. We'll show you how, at the end of this time, you've learned enough to really be the expert and create this compelling value for them. This is an ongoing plan. It's not just that it ends here. We're beginning a series of treatments at this point.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that any communication that benefits the client is okay. We tend to think that clients want silent treatment. For example, when a client says that they're interested in relaxation, perhaps they share that with us and we think, oh my goodness, I can never say another word to this client because I'm going to disturb their relaxation. But keep in mind, once more, there is a strong reason that they're here. Their where does it hurt issue. They're parting with discretionary money, discretionary time. That where does it hurt issue needs to be addressed. And we can't do the discovery we need to do if we're giving a silent treatment. And I don't know about you, but I find it very disappointing when I have a treatment and I have no idea what's being applied to me, what's being put on me, why they're leaving it on as long as they are, why they take it off when they do, why it feels the way it does. That's very bewildering for a client to have this kind of experience. And when we're experts, we educate. That's a big part of our responsibility.
Then how does that education happen? It's not magic, it's listening and responding carefully. I'm sure you've had a service where, as Peggy said, you weren't spoken with the entire time and you're not even sure when it's over. So you need the cue about, here's what I'm doing and this is why, and then you stop talking. When a client says they want relaxation, they still want education. They may be responding that way because they've had a treatment with a provider who didn't stop talking the whole time and they don't want that. But they do want to be educated and told what to do. So you need to choose your moments, make your selection or your point to them, and then you have something you can wrap up at the end.
You're definitely listening more than you're talking. That's very important. People do like to talk about themselves. They do like to talk about their issues and concerns and the problems that they have that have brought them into the spa. Most people like to share that with you. Now, if you're considering that person's social style and you're style flexing with them too, if you sense that that client wants to engage in conversation, you're going to mirror and match, you're going to engage with them. If you sense that the client really would like to relax, really would like to be quiet, then you can read that too. If you get a monosyllabic response to a question, a grunt, for example, you know that that client is not going to want to interact a whole lot during their session. But you're rapport experts, and we trust that you can read people correctly.
Just remember that it's all about them and it's not about you. And when you do get someone that wants to chat, you turn the conversation back onto them so that you can continue to get at the root of why they're here, where it hurts, to create this compelling value in the end.
Some clients, especially expressive clients, actually need a little bit of help relaxing and quieting down. And you can do that by using breath work and other types of techniques that'll help the client kind of get centered and get back into their body and out of their head, which is also important for having a good spa treatment.
Well, this is a time when you do want to use open or closed-ended questions that do end in yes or no, so that you're not facilitating conversation. When the client asks you something, this is a time to say yes or no and then continue working, and then they get the cues that they're supposed to relax now.
You're definitely the person that is creating this whole experience for them. It has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end, and there's different types of communication that happen at each phase of their treatment. It's important to remember that when you solve a big problem for a client, you get paid handsomely. So if they've come to you with a big where does it hurt issue, and you're able to create a compelling solution that solves their problem, you're going to have a very loyal client that's going to spend a lot of money with you. They're going to spend a lot of money on treatments, and they're probably going to spend a lot of money on home care as well.
And now you're engaged at a deeper level. You didn't just perform a service, you connected with them in a deeper way and provided this long-term solution. Everybody has aches and pains and issues, and when you can address that, that really bolsters your be the expert status in the client's eyes, and they then turn to you in the future for other services. They're not going to any other provider when you've been that accomplished with them.
Absolutely. You have moved from a transaction to a relationship at that point. Here's our chance to see if the spa professionals in our example take this opportunity to truly create a compelling solution for their client.
Okay, Michelle, let's take a look at your skin. Oh, sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Well, that was certainly the silent treatment. Now let's see if she can create some value by communicating with the client.
Okay, Michelle, so I'd like to take a closer look at your skin before we start. I'll give you some goggles to protect your eyes from the light. This will be a little bright. There you go. Okay. Okay, so this is a magnifying lamp I'm using to look at your skin. Okay, so I do see some congestion on your nose in particular, a little bit on your chin as well. You are a bit dry. That's probably part of what you're noticing when you say dullness. That's part of it, I think, probably. And I do see some areas where the sun has been kissing your cheeks. So our fancy name for that is hyperpigmentation, but that is brown spots a little bit on your
kissing
forehead.
better.
And some fine lines as well. I do see that. Okay, so I would suggest an excellent facial for you today would be the antioxidant facial, and that incorporates the use of vitamin C. And briefly, vitamin C lightens, tightens, and brightens in a nutshell.
Good.
So that would help to address many of the things that we're noticing with your skin.
Sounds great.
Does that sound good? Okay, let's get started.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So let's move from the aesthetics room into the massage room and see just how compelling the solutions are that Elena is offering her client.
Okay, Nandita, so I'm going to apply some of this relief gel onto your back. This relief gel is really going to help soothe your sore, achy muscles. Inside, in the ingredients, it's got arnica, which is like an aspirin for your muscles, and menthol, which is really going to penetrate into the muscles. And it also has laminaria seaweed in it, which is going to pull out all the lactic acid and toxins from your muscles. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and apply a nice hot towel to your back. And I'm going to place a warm body wrap on top of that. So while the relief gel is doing its cooling and soothing, this hot pack's going to be heating and activating all of the ingredients in the product. How does that feel?
That feels really good.
Wonderful.
So that was truly Selvice. Now remember, the end of the treatment is a very important moment. This is when you need to celebrate the results that you've achieved, draw the client's attention to the value that you've actually created for them there in the treatment room, and also really underscore the compelling solutions that you're offering to them, the treatment program that you're offering to them, and the home care program, ideally, that you're offering to them. You can talk about home care before you even leave the treatment room. A lot of people save it to the very end. That's not necessary. So let's take a look at the end of a treatment done the way you might typically experience it in a lot of spas, and then we'll see it done Selvice style.
Well, time's up. Nice to meet you. Enjoy your reunion. I hope to see you soon.
Not the way to finish your service. Now let's see it done Selvice style.
Here's a hydrating toner, Michelle. We'll finish with some sun protection for you. Your skin definitely feels smoother, brighter as well. How does it feel for you?
It feels very happy.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
It has not had this much attention in a long time.
Oh. This is some sun protection for you. Oh, your skin definitely feels smoother. How does your skin feel to you?
Oh, incredible.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear it, Michelle. So we've done a lot today to get your skin on track. So we did a good, thorough, deep cleansing. We've exfoliated your skin, removed some of those buildup of cells that was making you feel a bit dull. I think you'll be shining at the reunion.
Good.
Definitely. So we've started the use of vitamin C for you. I think that this is important for you to use ongoing at home as well. This is the thing that lightens, tightens, and brightens, if you remember that.
Yes.
So that you would use after cleansing, and again, remember the lavender cleansing milk, an excellent choice for you every day, both morning and night.
Oh, okay.
Followed with the hydrating toner that we used. Vitamin C serum, I would suggest for you. Serums are the deepest penetration, the most really targeted results oriented delivery, really, for your vitamin C.
Okay.
And this, you can actually use it all over your skin. Really focus on the eye areas, the lip areas, the areas where you're noticing the spots. Okay. And follow that with SPF minimal 15 every day.
Okay.
And I think that you'll find that if you work on that consistently, you're going to continue to see your skin looking better, even.
Excited.
Does that sound good?
Oh, yes.
Wonderful. And I'd also like to see you again in a month, about 4 to 6 weeks from now.
Okay.
Again for another antioxidant facial.
Great. I can
Does
tell
that
you all
sound-
about who I met.
Oh, wonderful. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful.
That felt much better, didn't it? Now it's time to move from our compelling solutions into extending the invitation. This is the 5th step of Selvice, and arguably it might be the most intimidating on the face of it for most spa professionals, because as we mentioned earlier, extending the invitation is what we do in place of what salespeople call closing.
So this is the part where most technicians are most uncomfortable, asking for the sale. But the client is left at the end of the service wondering, what happens next? What do I do? I've had the service, the value's been created, I feel good, but now what? This is our chance to tell them. They're waiting for the cue. Here's what I need you to do. Come back however many times, ask for this service, ask for me, buy these retail products, whatever the cue may be, they need to be told at this point. So you have to work on your mirroring of social style and your scripting and practice in your head so that you can find a comfortable way to say this. If you're not comfortable asking for a sale, find another way to phrase it. But the conversation doesn't end when you finish the service part. That's the beginning of the next step.
Many of us have had the experience as a shopper of having a great shopping experience, maybe finding that thing that you really want, but if no one asks you to take action, you may just wander off confused. So in the spa environment, our clients are looking to us for exactly what you said, cues. They're looking for these clues and hints, and they want to know how it's done. Every customer wants to know how it's done. In fact, that's why a lot of clients ask us the question, well, how often do most people come into the spa? Now, we never want to answer that question because that makes it sound like it's generic and there's no real compelling reason why a person would come in at a particular time other than it's easy to remember they go to the spa once a month. So it's very important for us to give instruction and guidance and really demonstrate to the client exactly what we'd like them to do next and what they'd like to do next.
This is something in sales called the assumptive close. You're assuming that the client wants to continue. Of course they do. You've created a value and results. Of course they want that. So it's in your language to them. How do you ask them? We don't say to the client, would you like to have another appointment? We say, when would you like to have your next oxygenating facial? How's Tuesday? Because of course they want to come back and continue that service. So you need to practice your script or role play so that you can be comfortable asking for the client and giving them the cue. that causes your client to say, oh, okay, I come back again and I have another one. Great, where do I sign up for that?
These are some of the magic beans that we were talking about earlier. And the magic beans sometimes are just the right words and phrases that make it easy for you to extend the invitation, because it's got to feel natural and comfortable for you, but still gets the job done. And remember, our clients are grown-ups. We're making offers to them. We are issuing an invitation. And then at that point, it's up to them to decide what they want to do. Now, clients may sometimes say no to your invitation. That's perfectly fine. That doesn't mean that you stop issuing invitations. In fact, it's really a numbers game. The more invitations you issue, the more invitations get accepted. So one of the skills that spa professionals do need to practice, because we're very relationship oriented, we're not results oriented as much as relationship oriented. When someone says no to us, it's very easy to interpret that as a personal rejection. And you just can't go there.
Remember that the road to yes is paved with many no's. And if you ask 8 people a day for a sale, you won't get 8 yeses, but you'll get 3 or 4. And if you don't ask anyone, you'll get 0. So you've got to not take it personally. It's not about you. It's about creating this compelling value for the client on a continuing basis. How may I help you get to the skin or body or health level that you need? This is the way to do it. And this is when we try not to ask closed-ended questions. We don't ask the client, can you come back next week? No. We ask them, when would you like to schedule your next appointment? Again, as Peggy mentioned, it's all in the scripting and the approach so that we get the answer we're looking for and they get the result that they came to us for.
And the invitation that you issue needs to be the most tantalizing invitation that you have. A tantalizing invitation would not be, would you like to purchase any products today? Because that sounds completely transactional. No, I want to take them home. Do I want products? No, I want the results of using those products. So you always want to mention the treatment itself that they had if you're rescheduling them for a treatment. When would you like to have your next warm rose oil massage? As opposed to, would you like to make another appointment? Those sound like completely different invitations.
That's
One's very
true.
gracious and compelling, and one feels very dry and very transactional.
Who wants an appointment when they could have a warm stone massage or a hydrating facial? That sounds much more compelling. Remember that they are waiting for their cue from you, and this is your time to ask, using the assumptive close and trying to avoid the filters that we use as humans. For example, you may have heard your client tell you that their husband is out of work or things are slow at the office, and you might assume that they can't afford the next step, and so you don't ask. And this is where sales professionals excel and spa professionals need to work on. We're so amiable and oriented to them that we think like they do. We need to take our mind away. It's their pocketbook, and you need to ask for the sale anyway. Let them decide if they want it. It's not for you. You're not their mother. Let them make the choice themselves, and you'll be surprised how many times they do choose the course of action you've prescribed for them.
It's true. A lot of spa professionals confuse their assumptions with intuition. We think we're very intuitive and that we can read people. But I can't tell you how many times I've had a poker-faced client at the counter who looks completely uninspired by anything that I'm saying, who then says, well, I guess I'll take everything. And you're completely shocked by it. You never want to disqualify a client. It's called closing your client's purse for them. You never want to do that. You always want to assume that they're interested in what you have to offer.
And of course they are, because they're here. You're not in a street walking by people hawking sales to them. They made an appointment, they sought you out and came to you. Of course they want this solution. So you're halfway there already. Just don't be afraid to ask.
Right. And remember, it's not about you. You might not be able to afford to have a massage every week, but a lot of your clients can. You might not choose to purchase a serum that costs $150, but a lot of your clients can. So make sure that you step outside of yourself when you're making these recommendations. You should not have to be able to afford to do something or even to be able to use a particular formula to sell that formula. I always ask people who tell me that, well, if I don't use it, how could I recommend it? I always ask them, do you think physicians use every drug that they prescribe? Absolutely not. You have to be able to think about the client's best interests and not impose your limitations and your fears on them. So there are two principal types of invitations that we extend in spas. The first is an invitation to purchase home care products, and the second is the invitation to reschedule. So we're going to start by looking at an example of an attempt to convince a client to take some home care products home with them.
So, do you want to purchase any products today?
You know, I'll have to think about it.
Not the most effective approach. Now let's see it Selvice style.
Okay, Michelle, so I've written down the recommendations that I've made for you to take home with you.
Oh, good.
The lavender cleansing milk, the hydrating toner, the vitamin C serum. I'd also like to see you drinking a little more water, if I could encourage you that way.
Okay.
Yes. So the spa concierge will be able to help you with any questions when you're checking out with those products. Okay. And you're welcome to charge any of those purchases to your guest room if you'd like as
Oh,
well.
that's convenient. Thank you.
Excellent. Absolutely.
We realize that many of you do not have the opportunity to go down to the retail area and close the sale, so you just saw an example of how to do that while staying in the treatment area. Now we are going to go to the front of the spa and see another massage therapist do their home care invitation.
I have some stuff here. I wanted to show you. This is eye pillow kind of thing. And these are some, like the oil I used on you, you know. And I don't know, and then the cream, and then, oh, and this, you can put it in the microwave. It's kind of, if you like that. And those are nice. And this, you know, when you're in the shower, you know, you can use it on your face.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Thanks.
Well, that probably didn't result in a sale. Now let's see another example of it done Selvice style.
Hi, how are you feeling?
Oh, great.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
I'm so glad. You know, I have some home care recommendations for you.
Oh, perfect.
Some things for you to check out that you could take home with you. You know, you mentioned you were a light sleeper,
Yes.
really light sensitive. So I brought out this eye pillow for you.
Okay.
You've seen how nice and dark and
Oh,
cool
yes.
it is?
Oh, yes.
This will really help you with the light that comes in. This will help clear that up for you. And you know that shoulder, that you had that knot right there
Oh,
on that
yes.
shoulder, and I used some of this little relief gel
okay.
that we have. I just want you to feel it. I know, you know, you had it on. See how cooling that is? And it's not greasy.
Oh,
Go ahead
yes.
and try it.
Okay.
See, and just touch it. See how non-greasy it is. Isn't that great? I think
Yeah,
you'll
that's
really.
nice.
And this is the oil that I used on you. I think you really enjoyed the scent of this, right?
Yes.
Right here, I noticed that your elbows and your heels were just a little rough. And so here's an idea to take home and have a little spa treatment for yourself at home.
Oh, perfect.
Remember how you enjoyed the scent? This also has that peachy.
Oh, yes,
Isn't
that's
that
nice.
Yeah. And while you're in the shower, you can just use this
Okay.
on your heels and elbows, and then add the oil afterwards, and you'll continue with
perfect.
that scent through the rest of the day. Isn't that
Wonderful.
lovely?
Yes.
Well, I hope to see you again soon.
Oh, definitely.
Thank you
I
so
will. Thank
much.
you.
It's important to remember that you can issue your home care invitation anywhere. It doesn't have to be in a retail area, for example. So if you're working in a spa where you don't have an opportunity to visit the spa boutique or the spa store with your client, you're actually at the peak of your persuasive powers when you're still in the treatment room with the client. So we're going to go back to the aesthetics treatment room and take a look at a home care invitation.
Okay, Michelle, take a nice deep breath through the nose. And this is a lavender cleansing milk. This is an excellent cleanser for removing makeup. It won't strip your skin. Your skin will feel nice and soft. It contains lavender essential oil.
Smells great.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. This would actually be an excellent cleanser for you to use at home when you're ready to throw away the wipes.
You know what? I think with this smell, I love it.
Oh, I'm so glad. I think you'll enjoy it very much.
So now it's time to go back to our front desk and visit our spa concierge, who's going to be offering home care products to our type A driver client from earlier in our program.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Checking in?
No, actually, I'm checking out.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You had a facial with Rochelle today?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, great. Let me get you checked out.
Okay.
Okay, and Rochelle left some products over there for you. Would you like to purchase any products today?
No.
Okay.
So that invitation was declined, but let's see it again using the principles of Selvice.
How did you enjoy your facial with Rochelle today?
It was great. Thank
Oh, good.
you.
Wonderful. Let me go ahead and show you the recommendations that she left here for you. These
Okay.
will help really prolong the results that you received from your treatment today.
Great.
This is our toner that'll help balance your skin, and this is the cleanser that she said you'd definitely like to take home with
Oh,
you
yeah,
today.
I liked that a lot.
And she also recommended that you use the collagen mask one time a week just to help balance out the skin as well.
Okay.
And the glycolic toner to help with hyperpigmentation would be really good for you also.
Okay.
And then Rochelle recommended the collagen infusion moisturizer for you today, and this will help balance out your skin. It also has an SPF in it, so you get
Oh,
that sun
wow.
protection.
Okay.
And it feels really nice on. Did she use it on you in the treatment room today?
I'm not sure if she did.
Let me go ahead and show it to you just so you can see how it feels.
Okay, great.
It's wonderfully light. It's not heavy at all, but it gives you nice moisture and SPF protection, which is really important.
Yeah, that's great.
You have your hand
Okay.
here. Doesn't that feel nice?
It does feel
So
good.
you can
It
use that
smells-
morning and evening, and that'll take care of your SPF protection as well.
Okay. Ooh, it smells good too.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, that's great.
So which of these would you like to start with today?
Okay, so I'll go ahead and I definitely wanted the face wash, and I
Okay.
do like the face cream, so I'll go ahead and get both of those then.
Okay, wonderful. And are
Okay.
you using a toner after you cleanse?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I would highly recommend that you take the toner home with you today. You know what your shower door looks like after a while? That hard water on there? That's what happens to your skin if you don't tone and balance the skin afterwards. So it's really important to use that after you cleanse.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Okay, we'll go ahead and
I'll
take that home with
definitely
you
take
today.
that then. Perfect.
And do you need any cotton to use with your toner today?
Is that how I use it?
You'll spritz it on and then just use the cotton pads to remove it. And you can also use it during the day too to just help perk up your skin.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll take that for you. And then we'll make sure that you take your recommendation sheet home with you. This has the other recommendations listed for you. So when you're ready to pick up those other items, you can just bring this back in and we'll know exactly what's right for you.
That's great. Thank you
Okay?
so much.
You're welcome.
The other kind of invitation that we offer is the invitation to return and reschedule. And for that, we'll go to a treatment room.
Michelle, how does your skin feel?
Happy.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. You know, I wanted to mention to you, typically it's true, I would normally be having you come back in 4 weeks for your next treatment. However, because your reunion is coming up, I really think that it would be a good idea for you to come the day before, actually. We could do no extractions, but a really super hydrating treatment. How does that sound?
Oh, perfect.
Wonderful.
Perfect. Thank
Oh,
you.
good. Absolutely. I think you'll be glad.
So that was great. A lot of invitations to reschedule take place in the treatment room as well as at the front desk. So let's go back to our concierge and our type A client who seems a lot more relaxed now that her treatment's over.
Really? Well, what movie are we going to see? Okay, let me check it out. Let me see what times are open here. Oh, we could go see that one at 9 o'clock. Oh, shoot. Hold on just a minute. Hi, all set?
Yes.
Okay, and your name was?
Melissa?
Melissa. Okay, you had a facial with Rochelle. Okay, and we have your gift certificate, so that takes care of your treatment. So we'll see you next time, okay?
Okay.
Okay, hope to see you again.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you. Bye.
Sorry, client checking out.
She might actually be a little more tense now. You could see from the client's body language that she was not experiencing what she expected to at the front desk. So let's replay that now with Selvice?
I see that Rochelle has recommended that she see you again in 3 weeks, so which would be the best day for you?
Wednesdays work good for me. Is she available on Wednesdays?
Let me check for you. She is available on Wednesday in 3 weeks. She has an appointment available at either 2 p.m. or at 4:30. Which would work best for you?
2 would be great,
2
actually.
o'clock?
Thank you.
Okay, great. Go ahead and set that in for you. Oh, looks like Linda also has a pedicure available that day right after your facial treatment. Would you like to see her? She's wonderful. She gives an excellent treatment.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
So let's have one final example of an invitation to reschedule. And let's see the difference between an unselvicized and a salvicized version.
And how does that sound?
3 weeks isn't gonna work for me. It's a little too soon.
Oh, okay. Well, you can just call us. No, I hope to see you again.
I suspect she's having trouble building her clientele this way. Let's see her redo it using Selvice.
How does that sound?
3 weeks is a little too soon.
Well, what would be more practical for you?
I'd say about 6 weeks or so.
It's going to be extra important for you to use the relief gel and some heat until I see you again.
Okay.
Paul will help you set up that appointment, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Perfect. Thank you.
So it looks like our massage therapist is well on her way to filling her schedule. There's a variety of different invitations that we're going to issue to our clients. Some of them will be accepted, some of them won't be accepted, but it's very important, again, that we try every time, that we always extend the invitation and that we never make an exception. This brings us to our next step, which is keep the flame alive. And this is about what happens after the client leaves our spa. This is about what happens in their absence. In fact, it's about remembering them in their absence, something that's sort of unexpected for customers.
Remember, they've come for the appointment to accomplish something with their skin, body, hair, and nails, and your consultation with them was certainly about extending that for a period of time beyond one visit. So once they've gone, it's so important to let them know that you are thinking of them and you'd like to know how the results of their treatment or services went. There are a variety of ways in which you can do that.
We have a couple of tools, very simple, that we recommend. We call them gratitude calls and gratitude cards. And in this day and age, we also can now have gratitude emails, which are very convenient for our clients. The purpose of a gratitude call is to, within 48 hours of their first appointment with you, check in with them and just see how everything went. How does their skin feel? How does their body feel? Find out if they have any questions about home care products. There's a second purpose to this, which is it potentially heads off negative reactions. Maybe somebody's had an allergic reaction. Maybe somebody doesn't know quite how to use a product and might be a little bit confused. This gives you the opportunity to be the first person that they talk to about that, rather than their friend or rather than an online review site.
The other thing that you could do is write a note, a personalized card, and it's easy to have stationery for your facility that's plain, blank. You fill it out and say to the client, hey, it was great to meet you. I hope you're enjoying the results of that service or treatment that we did. I look forward to seeing you again. Please be sure to let me know if you have any questions. So the door is open for them to contact you if they wish, and they know that you're thinking about them.
These little touch points are so important because they really reinforce the relationship in the sense that this is a relationship. This is not a transaction, that you've remembered them in their absence. It makes them feel important. It makes them feel valued. And there's nothing more vital to your business than doing that.
Then you can pick up where you left off the next time they came in, and they feel like they're already that many more times they've been in contact with you. It wasn't just the one visit.
That's right. You're creating continuity and you're really creating relationship. And for those of us who are relationship driven, this is a really easy thing to do. It's really fun when people realize that this is okay, that they can do this, that it's perfectly fine to reach out to clients when they're not in the spa, and you'll be amazed at the results. I've been told over the years by clients who receive gratitude calls or notes that they were so stunned because it far exceeded their expectations of the kind of customer service that they were going to get from their spa or salon.
Now, the gratitude call or note, as Peggy referenced, is a great way to begin your relationship with the client. But if you've got a client that you've had for a few years, you're not going to write a note or make a call every time they come. And that's where your monthly communication with the client from the spa or salon comes in, especially through newsletters. So this is a way to continue communicating with the client once they're gone. Your newsletter can be one page, quick. Here's what's going on, new product, highlight a new service, new employee, a little bit of information, a little bit of selling, but that again keeps you in their mind.
And it's also, of course, very possible for us to identify special groups of clients for special offers, for special things that we want to reach out to them with. So we don't have to just do kind of one-size-fits-all communication anymore. We can really create niches within our clientele and communicate specifically with those people, even about a particular product if we want to.
Your software will let you do that. Most software programs give you many options for marketing, and among those will be contacting all the people who purchased a certain product that might be discontinued, everyone who had a particular service or was with a certain provider. You can remove those people, make a group, and get a special message right to them.
Special occasion communication too, birthdays, anniversaries, that kind of thing, that's always welcome, and clients are delighted to hear from you. They know it's not magic, they know how it works, but they're still very happy to receive that acknowledgement.
Especially when your message is brief and has an educational component to it. They don't mind opening an email that's a one-page where they'll learn something and they'll think of you. It's a very valued way to continue communicating.
Over the years, another way that I kept the flame alive with my skincare clients was that I would mail them an article, something of interest that I'd found that was particular to something that we talked about, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be about what happened in the spa. It might be about a travel destination you discussed. And it could be just simply a matter of tucking it into an envelope with a card saying, "This made me think of you," and sending it to them. So here are a couple examples for you of a gratitude call and a gratitude note.
Hello, this is Rochelle from Preston Wind Spa. I'm looking for Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Yes, I gave you your facial the other day. Yes, I'm just checking in to see how your skin is doing. Wonderful. Excellent. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad. And your cleanser? Yes. Toner, the serum. Excellent. Yes, and you can use that both day and night. Good question. Yes, wonderful. Oh, I'm so glad you were so pleased. Well, I'm looking forward. Yes, I'm looking forward to our next visit. Okay, I'll see you then. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Dear Michelle, it was a pleasure working with you today. I'm looking forward to helping prepare your skin for the reunion. I think that you'll be delighted with the progress that we make. Sincerely, Rochelle.
So our final Selvice step is make it fresh daily. And what that basically means is that every time we work with a client, every time that we see them, we're creating a new, fresh, wonderful, and exciting experience for them. When I was working as an esthetician, I was very successful in persuading clients to leave other estheticians when they came to visit me, say with a gift certificate, because I treated them like a new client. You want the client to feel like it's their first visit every time with respect to the kind of energy, enthusiasm, information that they receive.
It's the kind of thing you really need to be conscious of, because we've talked a lot today about scripting and role playing and how you're an actor on a stage, and yet you can't let it get to the point where it sounds like you're reciting a role. You need to be authentic and real with the client and fresh every time. This visit is very important to them. You know, your client took off work or got a babysitter and is coming down to see you. Maybe you've seen 100 clients this week, but it's their one visit with you, and they are really looking forward to this time and the result of that. So this is why our work is challenging. You've got to create this 100 times a week, a fresh feeling, and that's what's not easy, but it's fun and rewarding when you can do it.
It's very important that you're giving them something new each time, because they may be delighted with their first visit, but if that's the same visit they get every time, they're quickly going to tire of it. So making it fresh daily means looking for something new, and the way that we do this is we look at their customer records, we reanalyze their conditions each time, and that's very important that you don't just start working on a client. It's a very easy habit to get into with your regulars, is you just swing into action once you get into the treatment room, you start delivering their treatment, you don't assess the effects of the last treatment they had, and you don't adjust accordingly. And ultimately what that does is that undermines the idea that there are results happening in this treatment room. It becomes, once again, more transactional than transformational.
It's as if you had products that you sold the client and they took the products home and then they did this to themselves. And at a certain point, they're going to say, why do I need to pay an esthetician to cleanse and tone and moisturize my face? Well, because every time I go, I get something different and more of value from you, the therapist, the technician. You see something in their skin, you analyze a trend, you have a new solution, and you're going to take seasonality into account as well. Wherever you live, there are going to be changes in climate and temperature that affect the skin. So you want to be sure to address those.
And massage therapists, you're also going to want to change up the self-care routines that you recommend to clients based on seasons. The kind of treatment that you're giving the client, make sure that you change it up, that you don't get into a rut.
We have to make sure to treat our regular clients the most special, right? They're the most loyal ones who come back. We can't save our special dog and pony show for only the new clients and make the regular client feel like, well, I don't get that kind of attention. You know, they're the ones that really deserve a lot of attention from you.
So we're going to see an example of an esthetician who tries to make it fresh for her client, Selvice style.
Okay, Michelle. So the day before the big day, yes?
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at your skin. So you've been using your products at home? I hope so. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing at home now.
Well, I'm really enjoying that smell of the lavender. I've turned it into my nighttime routine. And then I just, I do my toner, and then I hop on the bed and do my serum.
Excellent. Good for you. Well, you know, it really does show in your skin, Michelle. I think we're on a good path here.
Good.
So one thing now, I think that I would, while I'm thinking of it, I would like to add an eye cream into your regimen. Eye creams are a little different than a facial cream. Facial creams contain water, and it can make eye areas puffy. And because one of your main concerns, I remember when we last met, a couple things you've noticed. A dullness, which I think your skin, we agree your skin is glowing now, yes?
Yes.
Wonderful. Another thing was the spots, which we're addressing with the vitamin C. That's excellent that you're using that at home. Very good. And also the fine lines. So let's take the next step with your home care and add an eye cream. What do you think about that?
I think I can handle that, absolutely.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's talk about what we should do today. Today I would highly recommend for you the cranberry facial. It is, for many reasons, it is our most popularly requested facial. It contains a lactic enzyme, leaves a beautiful glow to the skin.
Good.
Yes, absolutely. No extractions. We'll really focus on the deep hydrating for you
good,
today.
good.
Yes, and that treatment is $135. How does that sound?
Sounds fine.
Oh, wonderful. I think you'll enjoy it very much.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Now you've seen the great example of how to keep it fresh daily that you can pattern for yourself. This wraps up our 7 steps of Selvice. We've given you a lot of information to think about, and I hope it's been really helpful for you. We urge you to go back to your spa or salon tomorrow and begin putting these steps into practice. Don't be afraid. It is a lot to do, but you can do it. You need to pick 1 or 2 to begin with, but have a deadline for yourself for when you'll do them all because they are interrelated. No one stands alone. You need to perform all 7 steps regularly, and you will be very successful.
Remember, your goal is not to satisfy your clients, it's to delight them. And the 7 steps of Selvice are your path to success. You'll see your income soar, you'll watch your clientele expand, and you'll have the satisfaction of knowing you're giving world-class customer service. So it's time to get out there and make it happen. Take the 7 steps to Selvice.